It's alright, she won't wake up for a while. There are 2 bedrooms in this sweet room. She won't notice a thing.
Really? Then we gotta make the most of it.
After enjoying a hotel dinner the night before the wedding, I woke up overwhelmed with sleepiness to find my husband Robert in the midst of an affair. Clutching my aching head, I desperately tried to gather evidence, realizing he had left all the wedding preparations to me while lying about working late to continue his affair. This was utterly unforgivable. Don't think that staying quiet will let you get through the wedding and honeymoon without getting caught. I decided to create and execute a plan that would embarrass Robert and his affair partner to the utmost. I'm Sarah. I'm a 38-year-old working at the city hall. I'm the protagonist of this story. My life had been a cycle of work and home, leading to very few romantic encounters at this age. I used to lament about the lack of opportunities and unsuitable interests. However, a friend introduced me to a man named Robert one day.
Sarah, I like you. Please go out with me.
Me? Yes, I'd be delighted. Honestly, I never found him especially handsome or my type, but I was drawn to his sincerity, and we started dating. I thought I wouldn't find anyone else who could love a woman who just went back and forth between work and home, so I wanted to cherish him for life. Since Robert proposed dating with marriage in mind, he had already finished booking the wedding venue and honeymoon. I'll never forget the problems that came with booking and the process. Robert was a bit lax with money and often didn't prepare payments on time for the wedding venue and travel agency. He always made excuses, and I had to prod him to do anything. If you don't put money in the bank account, the payment won't go through. I've told you several times to do it before the deadline, haven't I?
Even if you say that, what can I do? I didn't have time to go to the bank because of work.
Then you should have discussed it with me in advance or transferred it online. Why didn't you consult me?
I'm swamped with work. I don't have free time like you, Sarah.
Despite the occasional disputes, we somehow managed to progress with the preparations. As the wedding drew near, final preparations for the ceremony and honeymoon intensified, creating the guest list, checking wedding favors, and finalizing the reception menu meant frequent interactions with the wedding planner, which was tough. Sometimes I had to go to the venue for meetings, but they often didn't go smoothly because Robert would cancel at the last minute because of his work. It was a bit sad to make decisions alone that we should have made together. You've been working late a lot lately, haven't you? And often on days we had plans. You're also coming home late.
I can't go to the office for nearly a week because of the wedding and honeymoon. There's a lot of work to hand over. It can't be helped, can it?
If you let me know in advance about overtime or unavoidable work, we could reschedule the meetings. Is that difficult?
It's not always possible to know in advance, and some things just can't be done.
Recently, he's been coming home in the middle of the night, using overtime as an excuse. He's almost always out until morning, but his salary hasn't increased much. Naturally, I was suspicious, so I looked at Robert's pay stub and noticed something. His overtime hours were in the single digits. Hey, I noticed something looking at this pay stub. Your overtime was only 7 hours last month?
Yeah, that's right.
But last month you canceled our wedding meetings at the last minute 4 times because of overtime, and you came home after I went to bed almost every night. Doesn't 7 hours of overtime seem odd?
What, are you doubting me?
No, not doubting, but I just thought it was strange to have daily overtime without extra pay.
Of course it won't happen. You've never worked as a company employee, so you wouldn't know.
That may be true, but still, 7 hours seems strange.
So what? Are you saying you'll complain to my boss for me? Don't be ridiculous. You're making me sick.
He angrily opened the door.
This is too much trouble. I don't even want to see your face anymore.
But I wanted to discuss our honeymoon plans and sightseeing destinations. After Robert left, I found myself staring at the door when I heard a notification sound from a phone. I always keep my phone on silent mode, so it must be Robert's phone. His work phone, lying on the table, displayed the screen openly. Did Robert leave his work phone behind? Wait, what's this message? I froze when I saw the message notification displayed. It was definitely not work-related. The message was from someone named Nancy.
I want to go on a trip,
it said. It was a casual, light-hearted message, not something you'd expect for work. Maybe it was from a colleague or a business contact. There must be a history of messages leading up to this one, but the phone was locked, so I couldn't see any more. For a moment, I decided to forget about the message and focus on the wedding and honeymoon preparations. Despite the rush, I remember feeling relieved once all the wedding preparations were complete. Oh my gosh, the wedding's the day after tomorrow. I'm excited about staying at the hotel the night before.
Yeah, let's make it a ceremony that's truly ours.
Our wedding was to be at a hotel, and as part of the package, we were booked to stay in a special suite the night before. Robert and I both took the day off, so we headed to the hotel in the afternoon. After a leisurely bath, we went up to the top floor restaurant for dinner. Staying in a suite as a perk for having the wedding at the hotel is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sorry I left all the preparations to you, Sarah.
It's okay. Your work seemed tough, and the planner did a great job with everything, so it worked out. It had been a while since Robert and I had a relaxed conversation. I realized we hadn't had that much time together lately.
I felt like you were a bit demanding, but the planner was amazing. She managed to incorporate your ideas while organizing everything so well.
What do you mean demanding? But yeah, we really owe it to her. We got seated at the restaurant. We were served exquisite dishes I've never seen before. I noticed Robert's glass was empty. What do you want to drink next?
What should I get? Oh, Sarah, is that something on your sleeve? Sauce, maybe?
He pointed at my sleeve. Oh no, did I get some dressing on it? I hope it doesn't stain.
It's oil-based, so you should clean it now. Aren't you bringing that dress for the honeymoon?
Yep, I'll be right back. Luckily, I brought a stain remover just in case. I hurried to the restroom to check my sleeve. There's no stain. Did Robert mistake a shadow for a stain? I hurried back to the table, expecting the main dish to arrive soon.
Welcome back. I ordered drinks for us. Yours too, Sarah.
Thank you. Is this a cocktail?
Yeah, I found one I thought you'd like. Why not try it?
I appreciate it, but remember we agreed not to drink tonight because of the wedding tomorrow.
Did we? Well, one drink won't hurt. Come on, try it.
I decided to give it a try. The cocktail had a vibrant contrast of orange and yellow. It's delicious, orange flavored but not too sweet, with a refreshing hint of herbs. Just my taste. You know me well, Robert.
I thought you'd say that. Did you think I wouldn't know what you like?
Sorry, my mistake. What are you drinking, Robert?
Oh, this? It's a cocktail too, but I don't think you'll like it.
Really? Normally, Robert would say,
try this one too.
But this time he subtly declined to share his drink. After enjoying a leisurely meal, we returned to our room, and I was suddenly hit by an overwhelming sleepiness. I wanted to enjoy the suite more, but sleep overcame me, and I collapsed into bed. Sorry, I'm really sleepy now. I'm gonna take a quick shower and head to bed early.
Okay. You've been busy with the wedding preparations lately. Tomorrow's a big day, so rest up.
It was quite early, before 8 p.m., but I went to bed. When I suddenly woke up and tried to get up, I heard voices. At first, I thought Robert was on the phone, and almost went back to sleep, but I had a headache. When I tried to move to get some painkillers from my purse, I felt something was off. Could someone else be in the room? But who? This suite was for just the two of us. It's a large room, but it seems strange that someone besides Robert and I would be here.
Really? Are you sure this'll be okay? Your wife's sleeping, right?
It's fine. Sarah won't wake up for a while. There are 2 bedrooms in this suite. She won't notice.
Really? Well then, we gotta have fun as much as we can.
I couldn't see who it was, but I clearly heard a woman's voice. That's when I realized this wasn't a phone call. There was another woman, Robert's affair partner, in this suite. I remembered the front desk mentioning this was one of the hotel's best suites with 2 bedrooms. Holding my aching head, I quietly got up, took my phone, and headed to the other bedroom. I filmed the 2 of them with my newly upgraded phone, perfect for capturing videos even in low light. It was 9:30 p.m. I thought I might still have a chance. After recording, I returned to my bedroom and immediately contacted my parents, in-laws, and Robert's boss. I was grateful to have their contacts from a pre-wedding drinks event organized by Robert. I sent the video of their affair and received replies from my parents and in-laws saying they would come to the room to talk. But I had prepared for the worst. If we stormed in suddenly, Robert might pretend nothing was happening. It would be more impactful to catch them in a well-planned manner. I asked my parents and in-laws, who were also staying at the hotel, to wait by the elevators of our floor. Looking around the bedroom, I noticed Robert's and his affair partner's clothes, carelessly discarded near the bed. I collected them and locked them in a nearby safe, making sure they couldn't retrieve their clothes. Luckily, the large suite worked in my favor, and they didn't notice I was awake. I could only hear Robert and his affair partner's voices from the other bedroom. Unaware that I was awake and their affair had been exposed, and that our parents and in-laws were on their way to the room. I moved my luggage out and then hid in a closet near the door, operating my phone. Hiding in the closet, I played the sound of a fire alarm on my phone at full volume.
What is that, a siren?
Hey, that's a fire alarm. Is there a fire in this hotel?
No, I don't want to die yet.
Don't worry, I won't let you die.
They panicked and ran out of the room. After confirming they ran a few feet down the hallway, I closed the room's door and could hear conversations outside.
Wait, isn't there a fire?
But wasn't that the sound of a fire alarm?
Robert and Nancy finally realized something was off.
Hey, Robert, what's with that dress code? And who's that with you? That's definitely not Sarah. Where's the fire?
Are you even aware of how you look right now? Betty, my mother-in-law, brought them back to reality, and they panicked upon seeing themselves, barely covered and surrounded by our parents and in-laws.
What's this, Robert? What's going on?
I don't know. Why are you all here? Was I tricked?
It was good that I had my parents and in-laws wait near the elevators.
Why are you both here, Mom, Dad, and Sarah's parents too? Weren't you told that relatives were staying at the hotel for the wedding eve? What? I didn't know about relatives staying at the hotel. Just get dressed first. We'll talk after that. Ah, right. Sorry about that. Let me go get dressed in our room.
But Robert didn't have his key card, so he couldn't get in.
Let me use my phone to get someone to open it from inside. Sorry, just a moment.
Wait, Robert, your phone's inside too, isn't it?
That's too bad. Hey, Sarah! Sarah, you're in there, right? Are you awake? Please open the door.
I was furious Robert had drugged me to sleep. He made me sleep, and now, are you awake? Open the door? I think not. I watched Robert, nearly naked and frantic, through the peephole before opening the door. Didn't know my parents and your parents were staying here? Well, that's because you left all the wedding and honeymoon preparations to me.
Hey, Sarah, you knew and you didn't tell me?
I did tell you. Maybe you weren't listening because you were dismissive. Figures. Then the affair partner, Nancy started making a fuss.
Forget that. Let us in now. Do you realize the situation here?
Excuse me, but who are you? The two of you were having an affair in the bedroom, right? You were startled by the sound of the fire alarm outside, and when you ran out to evacuate, everyone found out and you were in deep trouble, right?
I'm Nancy, Robert's girlfriend. If you understand, let us in, old lady.
Sure, come in. All right, Dad, Mom, William, and Betty, please come in too. I invited my parents and in-laws into the room. Hey, my dad doesn't need to be involved. Why not? We should hear the explanation. Sarah, sorry, but we're coming in. Of course. I'd like to resolve this here and now. Robert and Nancy rushed to the bed to look for their clothes. My clothes are gone.
Mine too. Robert, what's going on?
How would I know? Guess we're stuck naked.
Wait, there should be bathrobes here. At least we can wear those.
They hurried to the bathroom, but it was too late. I had already collected the large bath towels and bathrobes while they were in the midst of their affair.
No way, the bathrobes are gone.
Hey, no towels either. No clothes, no towels. What's going on? I stood before them with the bathrobes in hand. Looking for these bathrobes, you two? Hey, give me that robe now. I'm getting cold.
I'm freezing, old lady. Hurry up and give it to me.
I ignored the two complaining and went to the bathroom with the two bathrobes. The bathtub was still filled with water, left as they had used it, but I submerged the robes in it. Hey, Sarah, what do you think you're doing?
What are you doing, old lady? You're saying we should stay naked?
There's nothing here for despicable people like Robert and you to wear. Why don't you just stay naked? They finally quieted down. So, Sarah and Robert and you, Nancy, was it? Let's hear what you have to say. Robert was surrounded by his parents and mine, nearly naked, looking smaller than I'd ever seen. It was just a fling before the wedding, a bit of fun.
Are you serious? Robert, you were talking about going on a honeymoon with me. You said you were going to marry me after you divorced her.
Smooth talker, right? But Nancy, you seriously believed what I said? Learn to distinguish between truth and jokes. Jokes, huh? I heard from Sarah. But Robert, you weren't even preparing for the wedding or honeymoon, just coming home late every night. No, I was busy at work. Then Robert whispered to me in a low voice, glaring. Hey, Sarah, did you rat me out to your family, telling on your own husband? That's a dirty move.
Who's a dirty one here, working overtime for just 7 hours?
7 hours of overtime? What do you mean, Sarah? Betty asked, puzzled. For the past 2 or 3 months before the wedding, Robert started coming home late. He said he was working overtime, but his pay stubs showed only about 7 hours of overtime each month. Coming home late at night with only 7 hours of overtime? That's strange. Oh, you're still talking about that? Not all overtime hours get recorded, you know. That's just how it is for us. Robert was turning red, waving his hands frantically. Maybe it's time to be honest. I asked your company, and they said you've been leaving on time every day because of the wedding preparations. Leaving on time, and then... That's right. Finishing work, not coming home, leaving all the wedding and honeymoon prep to me, and having fun with Nancy. Betty and William looked furious. Robert, do you even think about Sarah? Betraying the person who loved you without a second thought? It's unforgivable. No, Betty, you don't need to apologize. Then Dad asked solemnly, Robert, if you wanted to cheat, why get married in the first place? No, it was just a moment of weakness.
Liar, you told me I wouldn't choose an old maid unless she's a stable City Hall employee who can't be fired. I'd never pick her otherwise. I sighed, hearing Nancy's candid words. Robert, marry me. I can cook. I'll be a good wife.
No way. Nancy, you were talking about becoming an influencer and not renewing your temp contract at my company, right?
Influencer housewife. That sounds good.
I'm not marrying a woman who's just trying to leech off me.
Their ridiculous argument was giving me a headache. For the record, I'm not working to support you, Robert, and after this, I can't continue our marriage. It's divorced for us.
Think it over. We have our wedding tomorrow and my boss is here. We can't just cancel it.
It seems like he can only think about himself in this situation. Think it over? Seriously? Do you even understand what you've done?
I'm sorry. Let's make up and start over, okay?
Dad intervened, seeing enough.
Start over? You think marriage is a game you can reset whenever you're in a pinch?
Exactly. Apologize and reset. It's not that simple, Robert. Ultimately, the wedding the next day was cancelled, with Robert bearing the cancellation fees. Nancy, eager to get married before turning 26, had approached Robert, but it seems he's now planning to break up with her. After the wedding cancellation, rumors about Robert and Nancy's affair had been circulating at his workplace. Robert was called in by his boss to discuss the scandal and his relationship with Nancy, a temp worker. Though he tried to deny it, testimonies and eyewitness accounts revealed everything. As a result, Robert was transferred to a rural branch, but he couldn't stand it and submitted his resignation. However, his job search since had been unsuccessful. His demeanor seems to be a turn-off in interviews, and he's been rejected repeatedly. Nancy quit her temp job, claiming she'd become an influencer, but online she's already labeled as the adulteress. Lately, she's been posting controversial content aiming to gain attention and money, but she's infamous in a dishonorable way. One day, while I was working at the city hall, Nancy came to my counter and started yelling.
I came here because I heard you worked here. It's your fault I can't work as an influencer.
What can I assist you with today? If there's no specific matter, I must excuse myself.
It was you, right, Sarah? You posted about my affair and cheating, typing away in that computer using our tax money to do petty things.
I'm not aware of such actions. Please don't disturb the others here. I signaled and called security. Fortunately, being used to dealing with difficult people helped, and security arrived quickly.
Let go of me! I need to talk to Sarah!
This is a city hall. If you cause a disturbance, we may involve the police. Please be aware of that. I handled it calmly as usual. I never thought my training in dealing with difficult people would come in handy like this. After that, Nancy stopped visiting me, which was a relief. I continue to work at the city hall. Being busy with work helps me avoid thinking about the divorce and the past troubles. Then an old college friend reached out to me, wanting to introduce me to someone who shares my interest in a particular comic series. It's rare to find someone who knows that series, so I was surprised and excited. Being an old friend from college, she knew my interests and tastes. This friend's recommendation meant a lot, and I was eager to meet this person. After everything with Robert, I had wondered about my future. But now, with new work and social opportunities, my days are fulfilling.